Thank you for taking some time for yourself. And before you close your eyes, I wonder if you can indulge in doing nothing. Deep breath in. And a relaxing breath out. Perfect. And I'm curious if you can notice your chest expanding. Relaxing as you go deeper into this experience. And I wonder how inactive you can become. Arms resting. Legs resting as you go deeper into existence. And as a wise man once said, life is just one damn thing after another. And yet here you are, taking some time for yourself in this agreeable state known as existence. Thank you for being here. You make the world a better place. And while you're here existing in existence, I really don't know the last time you got to leave the world's baloney out there. To be here. And I wonder if your toes feel different to your legs, or the right or left side of you is more relaxed. And out of the trillions of atoms that make you, all vibrating in space, if there was a vacuum strong enough to suck out all of the space, you could fit into the size of a teaspoon. But yet somehow you fill the space. The space of your breath, the space of the room, the space in outer space, and yet somehow all of it matters. And what some people love about hypnosis is their thoughts are clearer, more detached. And I'm not sure you're aware how special you are. No one else has your life experience, strengths, wisdom, and you've managed to slow down your breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, without me asking that of you. That's how special you are. And in the past, you've been feeling down and out or depressed, or maybe something else. And anyone in your situation will completely understand. The good news is there's a process to feeling different. And in a moment, I'm going to share with you a few stories. And at first you might be thinking, why am I sharing with you these stories? But your subconscious mind will be listening and do something wonderful for you a little later on. And if you were to imagine a hot air balloon on the ground that's ready for takeoff, all of its sandbags are still tied to the ground. And I don't know the last time you felt lighter. Maybe while you were swimming, lying down, with your feet up, or you were imagining flying. And isn't that an interesting sensation? And what's interesting about all of these bags, the sandbags weighing down the hot air balloon, is one by one, each bag is left behind, and you just never really know what load of baggage will give you liftoff. And it reminds me of George, who had been a mental patient at the hospital for 5 years. His identity had never been established. And during his 5 years, he had only ever said the words, "My name is George, good morning and good night." And everything else he said was just a bunch of sounds and noises, which were described as word salad. And he would mumble to himself. He looked mildly depressed. Attempts to lure intelligible remarks from him were made by psychologists, psychiatrists, nurses, social service workers, other personnel and fellow patients. But the hypnotist Milton Erickson decided to sit with George for an hour each day and listen to his word salad. And after a few days, Milton Erickson replied back in word salad. And George said, "Talk sense, doctor." Milton replied, "Certainly. I'll be glad to. What's your last name?" "O'Donovan." It's about time someone knows how to talk. Over 5 years in this lousy joint. I'm glad to get your name, George, and 5 years is too long a time. Within a year, George left the hospital. And this response was an extreme example of Erickson's ability to meet the client's needs, their model of the world. Instead of expecting the client to come to him, and here you are, matching your subconscious mind and somehow elevating your mood, little by little, moment by moment. And many people who have weight problems have a hypnotic voice that goes, "Don't eat that cake in the refrigerator. Don't think about all the candy in the living room. Don't feel hungry." And they make a series of visual images, visually constructed outside of their awareness. And they usually have no idea they're doing this. And I can only imagine someone like you, who is very in tune with yourself and others, has experienced spending time with people that have no idea. Maybe you have a husband or wife that says, "Oh, I didn't know about that." And they didn't, because it's totally outside their awareness. And it reminds me in the book The Stranger's Secret by Earl Nightingale, who goes on to mention, "I'll let you know who the most successful people in the world are. The school teacher who is teaching because it's what she wanted to be. The mother who's raising children because that's what she wanted to be. The man who owns a gas station because that's what he wanted to be. Success is the man who wanted to become a salesman because he wanted to grow and build with an organization. It's what he wanted to be." And people with goals succeed because they know where they're going. Imagine if you were to let a ship sail by itself. Eventually it would sink or wind up on some deserted beach. The human brain is exactly the same. You need to know where you're going. But why is it if you were to take 100 men who are 25 years old, do you have any idea what will happen by the time they're 65 years old? These men who all start out even in life, they all believe they'll become successful. And if you asked any of these men, you would notice they were eager towards life, had a sparkle to their eye. Life seemed like an intense adventure. But by the time they're 65 years old, 1 will be rich, 4 will be financially independent, 5 will still be working, 54 will be broke. Now think only 5 make the grade out of 100. What happened to the sparkle that was there when they were 25 years old? But here you are, working out where you want to go. Or maybe you already know, and that means you belong to the top 5. And just yesterday I was listening to Tony Robbins say something along the lines of, our brain was designed for survival. It's not designed to make us happy or have you wake up happy and full of energy. Your brain's a muscle. You need to train it. And maybe Dr. David Burns was right. Depression is an illness because it's not a necessary part of healthy living. And what's important is you can overcome it by learning simple methods for mood elevation. Maybe in the past, You didn't know why life felt like that, because you just didn't. And isn't it interesting how a moment ago you were ready to take off, preparing for liftoff in that hot air balloon? And yet somehow you're here now, existing in this space. And if you were to take a photo of the energy in your body now, I wonder if it's different. Touch, taste, smell. And I don't know if you decided to drop off some extra baggage, remembered where you were going, or decided to meet the moods of your own needs. But a wise man once said, a good mood is like a balloon. It just takes one little prick to ruin it. And I'm not saying you might need to go and invest in a hot air balloon factory, because there are a lot of prickly things out there. But I'm guessing someone like you, with your style, grace, and smooth way of doing things, you know how to go from stationary to liftoff. Your ability to sense, the sensibility to lift off, and in so many different ways. And isn't it interesting, 10 years from now, looking back, how many little pricks you effortlessly overcame? And when you're ready to reorient back to your external world, you can stretch out, wriggle your fingers and toes, and open your eyes. Welcome back. You're perfect, just as you are.